Hello, hello. This is Veronica Sofer, and we are here today with another episode of Saturday Soundbites. I am so excited that you're here with us. I hope you've had a phenomenal week, and I am ready with a great guest that you are just absolutely going to love. So hold on to your seat because we are going to talk all things related to entrepreneurship, to mindset development, to personal growth, to spiritual growth. And these are all things that you can use to help grow your business. And we're also going to tie it into a visibility strategy and how it can help you make sure that you're getting out in front of the right people. So very, very excited about today's show. As a reminder, you can be listening to us on all of the podcast platforms. And just make sure you hit subscribe so that you know exactly when we have a new episode and you can catch us. Or if you're watching on Facebook, hit the comments so that we know that you are watching. And if you're watching on the replay, hashtag replay, so we can respond to you and come back and answer any questions you might have. So we are going to go ahead and get started today. I'm going to invite my phenomenal guest. She is an author, a coach, a motivational speaker. Gigi Sabbat is here. Let's bring her up to the stage. Good morning, Gigi. How are you?
Fantastic. It is an honor to be here. Thank you, Veronica.
Oh, thank you so much. You are just one of my favorite people. I love talking to you. I love everything it is you have to say. And when we first had a chance to visit, I knew you were the right person to bring on to Saturday Soundbites because you have experienced everything from entrepreneurship to coaching, being in the online space. You've also got a financial business that you run, a book author, you're a podcaster, you do it all. And I wanted to tap into what you've learned, how you have balanced all of that, and the ability to help our listeners. So with that, Gigi, let's go ahead and introduce you to our folks and tell us what kind of got you on this path.
Yes, ma'am. So I'll backtrack here a little bit and I'll tell you this. My parents came to this country from Haiti around 35 years ago, and my parents instilled in my brothers and I the importance of obtaining an education. So I did. I attended the University of Central Florida in Orlando, obtained my BA in political science, pre-law, and sociology, interned for the senator during my undergrad studies, and then I pursued a degree in law. Hey, Emily, thank you for joining us. Yes, and while in law school, I became the Student Bar Association president, which means I oversaw all the organizations in the law school. But here's the thing. I got the shock of my life one day when I almost lost my life, death by strangulation in a domestic violence relationship. And that transformed my life forever. I'll never forget, because why? God awakened me to step into my purpose after I almost lost my life. After that occurred, I understood God's purpose for my life, which is to serve his people on this new spiritual platform. And that's why I'm an advocate today for domestic violence, sexual assault, breast cancer, and so much more. Mental health topics, human trafficking, you name it. I'm an advocate for it because I want to help as many people as I can.
Yes, absolutely. And boy, are you powerful. You are powerful with your words. You are powerful with your writings. And I'm just honored that you are spending time with us today and sharing your story. So tell us a little bit about how you go through and through life doing all of these things. Oh, I think we got you. I think we lost you for just a second, but you're back.
Yes. Technical issue. Yes, ma'am. So what was your question?
Tell us about these passions that you have, how you've brought them to life, and how they work in your everyday to make sure you're fulfilling your purpose and also fulfilling your need as a business owner.
Yes, ma'am. So essentially, after I stepped into my purpose, I launched my company, Life Service Center of America. I launched my podcast, Walk With Me. I wrote the best-selling book, Walk With Me and God First. So my books are a sequence. This is the hard copy of Walk With Me. God First is going to be available as a hard copy as well, coming soon. It's available on all major platforms that offer the books as well, such as Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. You can grab your copy. And again, it's a sequence. So Walk With Me is all about never giving up. I mentioned the trials and tribulations that I faced in my life to help others understand that they too can overcome any trials or tribulations they face in their lives. But then God First is all about raising awareness so that others understand the importance of having God first place in their lives. Understand this, we wouldn't have all the issues that we have in society if people were to keep God in his proper place, which is first. So Walk With Me is a spiritual walk. So it's walk with me, walk with purpose, God first. And again, with my company, I'm all about helping as many people as I can. So I provide motivational programs and courses. So I'm a life coach. I'm a confidence coach as well. I help men and women with their confidence. because why? It starts with us as individuals and really understanding that you really have to show up. When you show up in this world, you have to show up as you are, your unique self. And you really need to understand that when you are out there and you're providing value, it's really you providing value. Nothing else should matter except you serving others. That's what matters.
Yes, absolutely. And do you feel like entrepreneurs struggle with showing their authentic selves? I mean, do you feel like when you're coaching people, they come to you because they're not quite sure how to show up fully?
Of course, yes, and that goes back to the confidence, and also too. That's why I put the Confident Woman Conference together with Beata, and you're a part of that, and we're honored to have you as a speaker. Why? Because we are going to raise awareness about confidence, but also to teach others how to really have that confidence, and so that they can maintain it throughout their lives and also in their business.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And would you say that that is key for entrepreneurs, or is it really key for anyone? Because some people don't have the entrepreneurship spirit. They are not driven by wanting to go out and run their own business, but that doesn't mean they can't tap into that, right?
That's right. It's key for everyone. And going back to your question here in regards to business, let's backtrack here a little bit. And I'll tell you this: when COVID hit, everyone a lot of people stopped.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people stop, but then there's those business owners who pivoted. When things like COVID occur, you need to be able to pivot, and you need to find a solution and keep moving forward no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of people struggle with the mental health aspect of what happened during COVID. And we touched on that just a little bit when you talked about some of your passions about mental health awareness. Do you feel like there has now been more acceptance? I know you've done a lot of work, especially putting conferences together, bringing key spiritual leaders together. Talk about the impetus for bringing all of that together. And more importantly, how people are now open to it on an online version, because usually you would sign up for something like this, maybe through a community center or through your church or maybe through your work. But now we're all at home.
Yes, ma'am. That's right. And so again, when COVID hit, I pivoted and I started doing the live events. I started off with the domestic violence panel of survivors, and then we did the sexual assault survivors panel, and then the breast cancer panel. But here's the thing. Again, when God commands you to do something, you do it. And so I listened, and he said, you're going to host these 7, including the Leadership Business Conference in 2021. And that's what I'm doing. So essentially, you talk about mental health issues, and we need to raise awareness about these mental health issues now more than ever, especially with COVID, because so many people have gone into depression. So many people have anxiety. So many people are living in fear. So many people are alone during this time, and they don't understand that they have so much support out there. So really, all these leaders from all over the world are coming forward now more than ever to really help others and understand that they're not alone. And their stories are other people's hope to never give up, no matter what.
Yes, absolutely. And that message is so important for people to hear. So as pivoting just a little bit, the conversation, as a business owner with a passion and a purpose and being very clear on the message you want to get out to people, how do you ensure that your message is being received clearly? I mean, like the technical parts of it.
Yes, definitely. So I will definitely put it out there that we're going live, and I'll let others know where we're going live. But not just that too. So you talk about the videos and how it's produced. I'll explain this to you a little bit deeper. So essentially, when we do our live videos, it's as though you're at an in-person event. So we bring up one person at a time on the stage. So that's why in our videos, you only see one person appear on the screen. Why? Because after everyone appears on the screen in the beginning, we then move everyone to kind of the backstage. Why? Because of course, we're on an online event. So there's no way that we can actually have everyone sitting in the video. But what we can do is kind of put them in the background for a moment and bring up each speaker to the stage. So when that speaker is appearing on camera during our live events, that individual is speaking to the audience. So again, it's as though we are at a live event. So definitely tune in to another one of our live events. Our next one is our anxiety discussion. So definitely tune into that event, because again, you do not have to live in fear. Anxiety, like fear, is only as real as you believe it to be. And
Yes.
anxiety is a killer. It can keep people from doing so many amazing things.
Yeah.
God has a purpose for your life. It's
Yes.
it's just like a matrix. And I tell people this all the time. Anxiety is like a matrix. Okay, you're living in a bubble of fear. Okay, you talk about a financial matrix, which is a bubble where you don't understand financial literacy. But once you understand financial literacy, then you're able to get out of that bubble. Same thing. Once you understand what anxiety is, and you can tell yourself, okay, anxiety, like fear, is only as real as you believe it to be, you can break free. You can break free. And there's so many amazing things you can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. And I think that more people are willing to consume that kind of information in a way that they weren't before because of COVID and some of the other challenges that people have had, job loss. There have been an amazing amount of storms that have hit our country, and lots of people are still dealing with the winter storms and tornadoes that we've had. So I think a lot of people are now open to learning and growing online in a way that they weren't before. So the service you're providing is fantastic. So tell us a little bit more about how you reach those audiences. We've talked about online social media, but you have a podcast as well. I know you tap into other social media platforms besides Facebook. Tell us a little bit about your strategy around that.
Yes, ma'am. So I definitely promote the events, and I do the flyers as well to really let individuals know when, where, and how we're going to have these events via online events. So again, they have an opportunity to reserve their virtual seat, is what I call it, for our virtual summits. So we do have our events listed on Eventbrite, but then we also have it on the Facebook events page. So if you utilize the drop-down menu feature in the search engine and you type in global virtual panel of the next panel that we're having, for example, anxiety survivors, you will find it, and then you can mark yourself going, but then you can reserve your virtual seat as well. So it all starts on how we market, because again, we want to reach as many people as we can. Why? So we can help as many people as we can. Again, there's so many people out there with mental health issues, but if they just knew that they were supported and that they too can overcome, they would overcome.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
so why I market as much as I can in regards to these events as well. And I also do announcements on my show in regards to the events. I have been invited to speak on other individuals' podcasts, as shows as well, to announce my upcoming events. And I do that. Why? Because I want to reach out to as many people as I can so they can reserve their virtual seat. I want everyone to have the opportunity to reserve their virtual seat, because I know how much value is being provided in these events for each individual. And maybe you don't even need to hear that message, but understand this. Someone in your COI, your center of influence, or someone in your inner circle, a loved one, may need to hear that message. So if you're someone listening to this message today and you're aware of my online events in regards to the mental health topics we're discussing, or any other topics, definitely share that. Share that with someone. And also too, let them know that they can reserve their virtual seat.
And I would say that that's part of the beauty of social media, right? If the product or the service is not for you, you just pass it along to someone else. You send it in a message or you tag someone in it. And that's new for us in terms of sharing resources, because before social media, you might have heard of an event, but then you put the postcard aside that came in the mail or whatever it is, you might have a flyer you picked up, and you wouldn't have necessarily passed it on. The advent of social media has allowed us to be more engaged in supporting one another. And I think you, more than anyone, do a phenomenal job of making that really easy for someone. Because Gigi, I'll see something you post maybe on Instagram, or I'll see something on Facebook, and I'm reminded, oh, I wanted to send that to my friend, and I can easily do it. So you're one of those people who have shared it in so many different places that it's not something you can ignore. And I think you should be congratulated for that, because I think it really serves to your point of being of service to other people. And that's really key. And so I want to honor you for that, because I feel that you're an expert. And for those of us who want to try to do that, we need to model what it is you're doing. Yeah, because you are really amazing in that space. And I think that's fantastic. So shifting gears just a little bit, let's talk about your books. And from a technical perspective, what does that process look like for someone? I mean, when I say, oh, I have a best-selling book author on my show, a lot of people want to know, how do you become a best-selling author? What does that even mean? How do you even start that?
Yes, great question. So if you're going to be an author, you need to understand this. You need to be able to promote yourself as well. You need to actually get copies of your books as well and share it out. Share it with others. You wrote a book for a reason, to help others. Your book has value. Someone needs to hear your message. Understand this. When you get invited to speak at a live event or an online event, share your message. Why? Do you ever see the retractable banners?
Mm-hmm.
Why people utilize that to share their message and who they are and what they do in their books? It's so people know who they are, one, but also two, to really help others understand that they too can grab a copy of their book. So you really have to be able to promote yourself and who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But it requires that you show up. Show
Yep.
up for yourself, and also too, you are ready to serve others.
Yes.
It's not about you. The
Yes.
only thing that you need to do is show up. But when you show up, you need to show up powerfully. Show up powerfully. Write that down. And when you show up, be ready to serve others. Don't go to a speaking engagement and just sit in the background. No, why did you show up in the first place? If you show up to speak at an event, show up and serve.
Yes.
And yes, let others know about your book. Why? Because you wrote a book for a reason. You have purpose. God has a purpose for your life. People need to hear your message. He would not have led you to write that book if it wasn't for a reason, to help his people.
Yes. So true. So true. There is an audience out there, and we have got to be able to share how to access the message. And the other thing I hear people doing is they will introduce their book, they will share their topic, share their inspiration, but then there's no call to action. And Gigi, you are phenomenal about calls to action. This is how you get the book. This is how you push this link, click on that link, and this is how you can access the book or the podcast or the product or whatever it is you're serving. So I think really sharing so much of that part of it is important, but you got to close the deal. You got to be able to help people, invite them into how it is to access your product. And to your point, ultimately your message, right? So I think that that's really the last piece of information that people don't take advantage of. So tell us how to get your book. Invite us to access the message.
Yes, definitely. And let individuals know where they can obtain your book. For example, you can obtain my books on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and all major platforms that offer the books. Mm-hmm. Grab your copy. And again, I'm telling you, your life will be transformed. I'm all about massive life transformation and growth. And I love helping others transform. Just to see their transformation is absolutely amazing. That's what I'm all about. I do not work with anyone and have them in the same place after working with them. After you work with me, you experience massive life transformation and growth in all areas of your life, personally and professionally.
Yes, I believe it. I know it to be true. And I'm so excited that we're collaborating on projects together because your energy is contagious. Your energy is beautiful. It shines, it radiates service. And, you know, that's one of my key components of service to others. Gigi, this has been one of the most exciting episodes of Saturday Soundbites. I think for some people, they needed to get this bit of inspiration to hear it straight on for what it is, and that is truth. You need to be showing up and serving. You have been a phenomenal guest. Do you have any parting words for us?
Yes. Maintain a resilient mindset.
Yes.
No matter what in this lifetime, no matter what trials or tribulations you face or challenges, get back up and keep fighting the good fight. You are truly God's warrior. Get back up. God has a purpose for your life. Keep going. and keep moving forward. When you get knocked down in this lifetime, you get back up and you keep moving forward. You may not understand God's plans for you now, but you will later on. And understand this, we can write all the plans that we want. We can even write a list. But if something goes a little bit different than expected, if there's a detour or delay, understand that God knows the plans he has for you. So that delay or that detour happened for a reason. And you'll understand later on, because God has a purpose for your life.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Very powerful words. I've taken so many notes. This is real, like my page is already halfway filled up. I love this. I love Get Back Up. This in 2020 was one of those years that some of us really needed to hear it. Gigi, thank you so much for being here. It was just a blast having you. And I can't wait to read the comments because I know we got some. And I'm wishing you a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Likewise.
Well, guys, that wraps up another episode of Saturday Soundbites. I hope you love Gigi just as much as I did. I feel refreshed. I feel pumped. I'm ready to get to work, to be of service to others. And that's ultimately what you want to do when you are working your business, whether it's brick and mortar or entrepreneurship. Stay focused, stay inside your purpose, and be ready to share it. Your visibility strategy depends on you showing up and sharing your message so that others can benefit from what it is you have to offer. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. VeronicaVSofer.com if you want to catch any of our episodes or check out some of the projects that we've got going on. We are here at Saturday Soundbites wrapping up another episode. Next week, we've got another phenomenal guest that will truly, truly bring value to your business. So with that, I am wishing you a wonderful week, sending you lots of positive energy and light. Thanks so much and have a great one.